Hey everybody, welcome back to the Apple and Orange line and to another video. It's Train Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for another MPC Era video here on the Apple and Orange line. So every week I try to release a new video every Tuesday, and every other week I do an MPC Era video, and other weeks I do my Off the Rails series where I look at real trains or other things that are off the Lionel rails anyway. So welcome back to another video. If you like this video, please smash that like button. And if you want to see more, please consider subscribing to the Apple and Orange line. I appreciate my subscribers, and you're always welcome to comment on the content in my video. I appreciate it. And today's kind of a special video. I have kind of a different, slightly different type of a subject, but still within the kind of the same theme as a lot of my videos. I got into Lionel and railroading through my dad, and with a little help from Santa. And so a lot of my videos are a little bit nostalgic and thinking back to my dad and him getting me into Lionel and railroading and the things that he liked about it and the things that he taught me and passed on to me. And so it's been about 7 years since my dad passed away. And so reconnecting with my trains is kind of a way of reconnecting with my past but also my current interest in model railroading and my future plans for it. And on this channel, I plan on documenting my new layout build that I'll be doing later this year, and also getting into other modern trains. And most of my trains are from my childhood, so they're MPC era trains, but I do want to get into the new stuff as well, so which I have very little experience with. So I'll be documenting that on this channel. But this video is a little bit different, and I wanted to touch on a subject that came up the other day in a live stream that I participated in, and also in a post that I made on the OGR Forum about maybe 4 to 6 weeks ago. And on Friday, I was invited to join GFW Trains on their weekly Friends Friday, hashtag Friends Friday, live stream on the GFW Trains YouTube channel. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking with both George and his dad, Wally, and also always chatting with George's grandfather, George, or OG as they call him. And they are great ambassadors for this hobby, and always talking about the fact that we should all support each other, especially those of us that are making these YouTube videos and creating content on social media, especially YouTube. And so I enjoy connecting with other people through this medium and commenting on each other's videos and just chatting, and I really appreciate the support of my subscribers, and you know, I'm not doing this for money or anything. I'm just doing it for the fun of it, and to connect with other people, because I know exactly 0 people who are personally, like one-on-one people that I really know in person. I know 0 that are into Lionels, and I only have one real friend from childhood who was into HO then, and he's still into it now. He's into other scales and gauge, such as he's getting into 2-rail scale trains as well. So O scale. So and we just talked on the other night, on Sunday night, we talked for about 2 hours about trains. So we still talk about it, but you know, we haven't been able to do it in person for a long time, but at least we can talk about it. And so so being able to connect on YouTube is really great for me, because it allows me to actually talk to and interact with people, and the OGR Forum and other social media as well. But it allows me to interact with other people who share the same hobby and kind of the same background. I think most of us got into it probably through our dads, or have shared it with their sons, and so it's pretty neat. So one thing I wanted to point out about the live stream we did on GFW Trains on Friday, they've been really supportive of me in this channel, and I wanted just to let everybody know that George on the GFW Trains channel is working on his Eagle Scout project, and I'll link the details down below to that, and it was on the live stream. I'll put that down below as well. But on about the first 10 or 15 minutes, and during the live stream on Friday, they described George's Eagle Scout project, but also the fundraising necessary to fund that project, which is going to be about $7,500 to build a covered rail, like a little platform station for a 7.5 gauge rail that's at the Prairie State Railroad west of Chicago, Illinois. And in order to raise money for that, there'll be a link down in the description here to George's the website about George's project, and you can actually contribute directly to that. But the other way you can help out is George is going to host a train show in Yorkville, Illinois, the other York, and that's going to be on April 24th. And then he's also going to host an open house out at the Prairie State Railroad later after that. So those are some fundraisers that he's putting. There's really 3 different fundraisers there. There's you can just contribute directly on this website link down below, attend and participate in the train show in April 24th, or the other event that will be held at the Prairie State Railroad after that. But a lot of us aren't in the Chicago area, so probably the easiest way to help out would be to give some money to the cause, and it's a good cause, and George and his dad and his grandfather are great ambassadors of this hobby and very passionate about it, and I enjoy their live stream because it allows me to listen to and talk and communicate with other people who are, share the interest in this hobby, and so I really enjoy that, and I want to support them, and I want to encourage other people to support George and his Eagle Scout project. So, but on the live stream on Friday, I kind of touched on a subject, and I said then I didn't want to get political, and I don't want this video to be political, and I tried to steer that way on my OGR post, and actually the feedback I got on the OGR post was really positive. So one thing I just wanted to kind of tell this story and try to tell it properly so it makes sense and in a non-political way, but it involves a little bit of politics, so can't avoid it. But when I was about 8 years old, it was 1976, there was a presidential election season, and the election was held in November 76, and Gerald Ford lost to Jimmy Carter. And backing up just a tiny bit, in about 1974, my local community, and I think towns and cities across America, were challenged to come up with a Spirit of 76 commemorative project to mark the bicentennial of our country. And my city was founded in like 1889 or something. It was pretty, 18, I forget exactly, but it was right in the late 1880s. And so we had our centennial about 10, 12 years after the bicentennial. So we weren't even around then, but and most of my family lived in Europe at the time, so they weren't even in this country. But it was an exciting period of time, and as a little boy, that was really exciting, all the Spirit of 76 stuff. And my local community did a project where they bought 2 retired Portuguese Brill style trolley cars, and they brought them in, and it was a big deal. I remember in about 74, leading up to this, it was a big deal. They brought these cars in, and actually in those days it's pretty cool. The city council agreed together to buy these cars and set up this trolley system as a project, and it's still in business today. It's a nonprofit organization. It's technically owned by the city, but it's run by a nonprofit group, and the trolleys are still running. I was just on one about 2 months ago. And so anyway, it was really exciting. I couldn't wait to see these trolleys. My dad was excited, and there was a lot of chatter about it, and then excitement in the community, and the newspaper was behind it, and the local TV stations were all excited about it. And so it was a big deal when they came in, and they were refurbished, and then they made their debut, and it was exciting. It was really cool, and the whole bicentennial Spirit of 76, it was everywhere, and every company was on board, and Lionel got on board, and all the railroads too. And I remember Burlington Northern and Union Pacific having commemorative, special engines that were painted up and everything. And I think a lot of the railroads across the country celebrated the Spirit of 76, as did like a lot of industries and a lot of companies. The beverage companies had commemorative, Pepsi and Coke or whatever. And so it was really neat. And so Lionel got on board with that. In the 1976 catalog, they came out with a commemorative Spirit of 76 collection, and it included a U-36 diesel locomotive, a caboose that were stars and stripes and all painted up in bicentennial, patriotic colors and everything. And then they had a series of boxcars, and I think the boxcars were for each of the colonies. And we'll take a look at this here in a little more detail. But I didn't get one in 1976, and I got most of my trains and train sets and train items for Christmas and then birthdays. I usually got boxcars and a locomotive or something, some accessories or something for my birthday. So, and occasionally, I bought my own stuff too. I bought things that I wanted, so January 20th, 1977 is a day I remember because this whole election thing, the whole presidential election, all that stuff was all new to me. I was young, and it's the first time I really remembered it because I was 4 the previous, when Richard Nixon was reelected. And I do definitely remember telling my grandmother when I was about 3 that Richard Nixon was the president and he lived in the White House. Some two facts, and I knew those, and I shared that with my grandmother who lived in Canada. So anyway, I definitely, that's like my earliest vivid specific memory, was telling her that. So on the phone. And so anyway, January 20th, 1977 was a big day, and at school we had a TV in our room, which we never got to watch TV in class, but we got to watch the inauguration on TV. And it was really exciting. And one thing that was really cool to me was that the president, Jimmy Carter, had a daughter, Amy, who was about my age, and we may have been about the same grade, and we were at least within a year or so of each other. But it was really cool to see like a child my age living in the White House and in the inauguration parade and getting in and out of limousines and with their mom and dad, and I'd never seen anything like that before. The Fords had kids that were all like in college and stuff, and the Nixons, same thing, their kids were older. And so in my memory, which was pretty short at that point, had never seen anything like that. So I thought that was pretty cool, and they seemed like nice people. But I knew that my parents were Republicans. I knew they were for Gerald Ford, and we used to sit and have dinner, sit around the dinner table, our whole family, and we'd talk about what we did that day in school, but the news was always on as well. And so I grew up from in my earliest memories, the TV and the news and Walter Cronkite and all that was always on TV. So I was never shielded from it, but I didn't really pay attention to it or understand it. But I knew my parents were fiscally conservative Republicans, and they were for Gerald Ford. So, but I didn't really understand it all. So it was kind of like a spectator sport for me in a way that our team lost. And so, but on that inauguration day, that was really cool. It was cool to see that there's all the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, and everybody marching through the streets, and all the pomp and circumstance, and the big limousines, and the big old limousines, and the bands, and all the excitement, and everybody just seemed happy, and it was a neat event, and it was all new to me. So my dad came home from work that day, and he had a shopping bag, and he said, "Come on down, let's go to the trains." I'm like, "Oh boy." And he had his shopping bag. I recognized it was from a local toy and hobby store. So I was excited. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to get a train or something." So we went downstairs, and it wasn't a locomotive or something really, really big time, but he pulled out of the bag this Spirit of 76 caboose, which I think has a price tag on there, which is $11.45. And it's a really cool looking caboose. It's got red lanterns on the front, and we'll pull it out here and look at it. Red, white, and blue, stars and stripes, the whole patriotic thing going on. And then the other item, though, was, we lived in the state of Washington in the Pacific Northwest, in the northwest corner of the country. The other item was a boxcar from the southeast corner of the country, somewhere I would never visit until I was about 23 years old. And it was the state of Georgia boxcar. And I pulled it out of the bag, and I was like, Dad, why did you buy me this Georgia boxcar? I didn't even know where Georgia was really, and, and I think I probably had memorized the state capital and each state in the state capital or something. But here's the state flower, the Cherokee rose, and the state bird, the brown thrasher, and all these little details on the car. It's really cool. So, but why did you buy me this? Well, he said, well, it's Inauguration Day, and it's a historic day, and I wanted you to remember it. And I was pretty excited. I was really into it all. I was interested in it, and it was pretty exciting. I think, I've even talked about it probably all through dinner. And so he's like, well, Jimmy Carter's from Georgia, and I wanted you to have this, and he's the new president. And I was like, but I was like, Dad, but I thought you hated him. And he's like, oh, I don't hate him. He's like, I, your mom and I wanted the other guy to win, but we don't hate him or anybody. We just disagree a little bit on the ideas of his vision and I guess what our vision is or something. And so, so he sat down with me and we talked about it. And it was kind of the first time, I guess, it was a learning moment where I learned that, you can disagree with somebody who you don't know is just a person on TV, but they do have a effect on your life. But you can disagree with them without hating them. And our country had been through a lot at that point, which I was, of course, oblivious to. But, the Vietnam War and Watergate and the all that and the resignation of the president and the new president, who wasn't even elected as the vice president, but the vice president takes over and then pardons the president. And so I think if I was my age in 1975 or 6 and saw all that happening, I think I could have predicted what was going to happen. It was probably not shocking that Jimmy Carter won. And so, okay, so it was a good lesson. But it was also, it was a neat gift because it wasn't Christmas, it wasn't my birthday. My dad came home on a day. A big event occurred in the country, and I was really into it and interested in. We watched it in class and talked about it in the school and stuff, and it was really neat. So I got these two boxcars. The boxcar was $13.50, which I calculated recently. It's pretty close to $80 today. And then I got the caboose. So we're going to take a look at these and talk about the Lionel collection, the Lionel Spirit of 76 Commemorative collection, and we'll run them around the temporary plywood prairie layout here at the Apple and Orange line, and we'll take a look at them. The Spirit of 76 Commemorative Series, a spectacular series that memorializes the American Bicentennial in 1976. The U-36 diesel is marked in duplication of the actual Seaboard Spirit of 76 engine, and it features a metal chassis, working headlight, operating knuckle couplers, metal trucks and wheels, and transformer-controlled forward, neutral, and reverse. The cars celebrate the original 13 states. Each has markings that include the original American flag, the state flag, motto, flower, and state map. The cars are 10.5 inches long and feature sliding doors, remote control couplers, and metal wheels. The richly decorated caboose carries the presidential seal and is fully illuminated from within. The cars include Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, Georgia, Maryland, Massachusetts, Connecticut, South Carolina, New Hampshire, Virginia, Rhode Island, North Carolina, and New York. thanks again for tuning into this episode of the Apple and Orange Line and the Spirit of 76 long story, roundabout story of the Spirit of 76 cars from Lionel. I'm really glad I have this Georgia car and the caboose, and at some point I need to add a locomotive to go with them. Maybe there is the original Lionel U36 that came out in '76. I think that's something I'll probably keep an eye out for over time. And then, you know, the MTH had a similar Spirit of 76 caboose or locomotive that they did, and maybe I'll get one of those, or maybe I'll just complement these with like a military, some type of patriotic locomotive to pull them. And so they're pretty cool. And I kind of wish I had collected all of the state cars back then, but it wasn't really, it just wasn't what I was really into. So, but I remember seeing them in the catalog in '76, and it was really cool to at least have this. And it's a neat story that kind of just reminds me of my dad and his kind of his gentle nature and his kind. He was a very, very kind man, and so having this reminder of him and giving me this gift on Inauguration Day when his guy lost, and he didn't really like the new guy. I mean, politically in terms of ideals or agenda and stuff like that. But Jimmy Carter's a good man, and we've seen that over the years. And my dad agreed with that too. That he did a lot. He's done a lot. He's almost 100 years old, and he's done a lot, and still is active in promoting democracy and free and fair elections around the world. And he's gone into some tough places and helped them create democracy or create a fair election process for people to actually vote for their leaders and have their votes counted properly. And that is noble. And his work with Habitat Humanity is, nobody can argue that is also incredible. The attention that he's brought to Habitat Humanity, and actually not just talking about it or cutting an ad or serving on a board, but he's gone out there for, since 1981 or so. He's been out there on rooftops pounding nails and doing hard work in hot, humid southern summer weather, and so I tip my hat to him as being a truly a great statesman. And like I said, I don't want to get political and get into all the twists and turns of his presidency or anything like that, but that was never my intent with this video or my post that I made and on the OGR Forum. And actually the feedback I had on the OGR Forum was really really positive, and I had a lot of nice compliments on that, so I really appreciated that. And but I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little different. I mean, all my videos are kind of personal, and just the connection of kind of my dad and my nostalgia for my old Lionel trains and all of that. But that's why I like the hobby, and that's how it began. And going forward and in the present day, and going forward in the hobby and building a new layout and getting into the new legacy stuff and all that, for me is fun, and I enjoy that. But the hobby is for me, it's a connection to my dad and the past, and it brings up a lot of neat memories of these kinds of stories of things that just kind of little random moments. This little conversation I had with my dad probably didn't even last as long as this video, but I think it's a neat story, and it brings a smile to my face to think about that. It was a happy time, and good times with the trains always. And so we had a lot of fun. And so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider smashing the like button as always. And if you wish to see more Apple and Orange Line videos, MPC Era videos, on location videos, upcoming layout build, and foray into new technologies and things, I'm going to take you on that journey with me. And so you're welcome to subscribe to the Apple and Orange Line. And always, I welcome your comments on this video and my channel. And I look forward to hearing from you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll be back again next week with another Off the Rails series video. 3, 2, 1, and action. Now, action. There we go. All right. What the fuck was that? Holy. It was a dark and stormy night. No, it really is a dark and stormy night. Oh my gosh. Something just flew around out there. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1, action. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Apple and Orange line. So if you like these videos, please smash that like button. And if you want to see more, please hit subscribe, which is the other way from the like button. So we're on the Apple and Orange line. And, oh, I don't have my light on. Look at this. Okay. All right, ready? All right, so 3, let's start over. Okay.